Okay, so this year, 2024, is the 70th anniversary of the Fender Stratocaster. Over the last 70 years, there have been hundreds of different iterations of Leo's original design, and some of them are way better than others. Now, if you've been watching my channel for any period of time, you may have seen the 5 levels of videos that I've done. I get 5 different models of the same guitar and shoot them out. And anytime I've done a Fender shootout, the Player series, the Player 1 series, has consistently been the lowest rated out of all of them. That's Strat, Tele, Jazzmaster. I really do not like the Player 1 series. Now, when I saw recently that Fender had announced and released the Player II series, I was curious. Have they made actual real changes to this guitar? So I reached out to Sweetwater and asked them to send me one, which is right here, a Player II series Strat, and to send me an American Pro II to compare it to. And I'm gonna try and see if Fender has made any real meaningful change to the Player series and if it's changed my mind at all. Now, I want to quickly thank Sweetwater for sponsoring today's video. They sent both of these guitars out for me to use in the video, and I'll have affiliate links to both of these guitars in the description box down below. Those links do not cost you any extra, and it helps me earn a small commission if you purchase anything through those links, which I greatly appreciate. It's a good way to support my channel if you like what I'm doing here. While you're down there though, also check out links to some of my guitar video courses. We have a whole list of courses, including a few new ones that are on the way very soon that I'm excited to announce. All that is in the description box down below. So with all that out of the way, let's throw these two guitars on the bench, take a closer look at them, what's new, what's changed, and then we'll shoot them out. Okay, so Player II Strat. What are the main differences between this and the Player 1 series? The first thing that you're going to notice, or at least I noticed right off the bat, is the way the neck feels. They've rolled the fingerboard edges from the factory, which is a huge upgrade. A few years ago, I did a video with my friend Ben Calhoun where we custom shopped a Player series Strat, and one of the first things that Ben did was roll the fingerboard edges of that guitar to make it feel better. I'll have that video linked down below if you want to check it out, but the fact that they've done this from the factory is a huge, huge upgrade. And I think it shows that Fender is actually listening and paying attention to their user base, their customer base, and what we want from the manufacturer, which is cool. The fretwork also feels so much better from the factory. One of my big complaints with all of the Player 1 series guitars, whether it was the Strat, the Tele, or the Jazzmaster that I've played, is the frets just never felt great. The fret job from the factory on the Player 2 series is a step up. And also they've switched the fretboard material from Indian Laurel to Rosewood, which is a huge improvement, both from an aesthetic perspective, Rosewood just looks better, but also from a feel perspective, it feels better under your fingers. They've also upgraded the hardware, namely in the bridge. They've gone to the synchronized 2-point tremolo system with the rolled saddles, which I think is a really nice upgrade. This is a great tremolo. It's easy to set up. It stays in tune well. For me, if I was going to keep this guitar long term, I'd switch the nut. This is a plastic nut. I'd put a bone nut on it. That's something I like to do with all my guitars. I think adding a bone nut is a nice upgrade from a tuning stability perspective and from a sound perspective. And I probably would swap these pickups out for something a little nicer sounding overall, but more on that later. All right, now let's talk about the American Pro II. Now this one is a Sweetwater spec, so there's a few minor differences here, but the American Pro II is a great Strat. It's got some more modern features compared to the Player II. Like for instance, this is an 11-inch radius fretboard versus the 9.5-inch radius on the Player II, so it's a little flatter radius. It also has the contoured heel on the back, which, you know, is nice. It's not a make or break thing for me, but it means when you're up here playing in the higher registers, the heel fits in your hand a little more comfortably. Now the major differences here though over the Player II series is this is going to come with the custom shop Fat 60s single coils. These pickups are excellent. In fact, these might be my favorite stock Fender pickups I've played. This is a really, really great pickup set. I would love to actually hear what these pickups sound like in the Player II. The bridge, they've upgraded to the 6-point bridge system with a cold rolled steel sustain block underneath, which does actually have an impact on the sound of the guitar. If you don't believe me, like if you play these two guitars unplugged next to each other, they actually do sound different. And a big reason why is the bridge itself. A little more sustain, it's a little brighter overall. The bottom end is more present, and again, this is unplugged we're talking here. So I think that is a great upgrade. And then Sweetwater also spec'd a push-push pot here on the tone control. And this is a really simple mod you can do to any Strat, but essentially what this does is it engages the neck pickup in any of the positions. So for example, in the bridge position, I can hit this and get bridge and neck together. Or if I go to position 2, which is bridge and middle, if I turn this on, I can get all 3 pickups on together, which is a really nice touch. This one also comes with a bone nut as opposed to the plastic nut on the Player 2. And one interesting thing I've noticed is the Player 2 has a string tree on the headstock, whereas the American Pro II does not. I'm not really sure why. So between these two guitars, which one would I buy? It's interesting because if it was the Player 1 series, it wouldn't even be a competition. I would definitely go with the American Pro II, but now I'm actually not so sure. I don't know that there's $1,200 of daylight between these two guitars. Yes, this one I would say needs different pickups. I don't like those Alnico 5s at all, where I really love these, but you know, spend even $200 or less on a set of really nice pickups for this guitar, and I think these two, in terms of sound and playability, are neck and neck. There's no question that the American Pro II has a little bit more premium feel to me over the Player 2 series, but it's very minimal. I mean, after playing the two guitars back to back for so long, I mean, I really got along great with both of them. I don't know, man. I don't think you need to spend the extra $1,200 in this comparison. I actually think I would pick the Player 2 series over the American Pro, which genuinely was not expecting. I don't think I can overstate how much I disliked the Player series, the Player 1 series. I also think that the fit and finish on Fender's guitars have improved over the last couple of years. You know, people love to talk trash about Gibson guitars and their quality control, and quite frankly, for a long time, I think a lot of the complaints that people have had about Gibson quality control, Fender has also had, but I've not seen the same discourse about Fender's quality control issues online as I have about Gibson. And this, actually both of these guitars, the fit and finish on them is excellent. Especially the fretwork on this Player II series, I'm really impressed with. And I think it also shows that Fender seems to be paying attention to the customers, to the players, because a lot of these changes are things that I've talked about on my channel wanting to see in not just the Player series, but just the guitars overall. The higher fit and finish, the better quality control, the rolled fingerboard edges, the higher spec parts, like, they're doing it. They're actually doing it, which is encouraging to see as a guitar player. It seems like these big companies are actually listening and actually trying to implement some of the changes that we want to see. So yeah, good job, Fender. Once again, huge thanks to Sweetwater for sponsoring today's episode. I'll have links to these guitars down in the description box below. Those will be affiliate links. So if you buy anything through that link, I earn a small commission. It doesn't cost you any extra, and it goes a long way in helping me keep this channel going. So thank you. Also, in the description box, check out my video courses. It's a great way to support my channel. I've got a whole bunch of courses on a lot of different subjects related to guitar playing. So check those out and subscribe while you're down there. My name is Rhett Shull. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.